Welcome to Exploring New York with James, and I am in a really nice place today. I think you're going to like where I'm at. I personally think that this is a special place, and it's very historic. Very, very historic. You might say, I don't know, 1,500 years ago maybe. But it is a historic and, to me, an ancient place. So I am in Auburn, New York, and I hope those sounds are not going to be proof that I'm going to be in the middle of what's going on. There's a possibility, but I am at Fort Hill Cemetery in Auburn, New York, and I am at what they call Fort Alleghan. And so let's talk about this place, walk around, show you some stuff. Okay, so Fort Alleghan, and the dates here are, I'm not disputable, from 1200 to 1400. Located at Fort Hill Cemetery on 4th Street, extant earthworks and mound, originally built by the ancient mound builders, so-called Alleghans, by the 19th century historians, also later used as a known Cayuga Indian council seat and village site, and it was palisaded. Also later used as Cayuga Indian Council. The name Fort Wasco applied to the site by British American settlers, probably after the Cayuga name of the Owasco located there at the time. The Fort Hill Cemetery was established in the earthworks in 1841. So this place is really is an ancient fort. It was used as an ancient fort. Now, what are earthworks? Well, we can walk around and talk about that here in a few minutes. So, ancient earthworks, walls, mounds, and excavations. I believe what I'm walking next to is an earthwork. That's what I believe. Now, ancient earthworks were often built in layers of carefully selected materials, often packed down to withstand erosion. The fact that the earthworks lasted for thousands of years is proof of their careful construction. There are three basic types of prehistoric earthworks: mounds, walls, and excavations. I believe what we're looking at is an earthwork. It could be a wall. It looks like a elongated mound, but it's possible that's what it is. The mound up ahead, you see, was built, and that looks like a mound. It is actually a mound, and somebody's buried there. We'll talk about that more later. Okay, so if you look here, this is my observation that I found. It looks like there's an opening. The earthworks start there where that tree is at, or before, maybe around the tree, and there's an opening right here where I'm at. Okay, here's where the earthworks continue. This is just my theory and my thought. Okay, so we go a little bit further, and I'm going to show you there's more openings. Appears to be an opening here. Okay. And then we come up here to this location here, and there is an opening right here. Alright, this is what I talked about the last time I was here. And it all points to the mound right there. Okay, so we're going to keep walking. And there's more earthworks. Now, could I be right? No, I don't know. I'm not an expert. But this is what I've believed for years. Coming here to observe this place. Here is another opening. Right here. And it points to the mound, the obelisk. So, I think that maybe that they built that for a reason. Like maybe a sundial. Or during the equinoxes. It measures the equinoxes. Who knows? But if I'm right, that, you know, it makes sense why they built this. And we're going to talk more about the mound here in a minute. But the obelisk is really neat to look at. What does everybody think? Also, something else you might want to think about. I mentioned the Cayuga people coming here. The Alleghan people built this, which I have heard different stories that Algonquin people built this fort. They were mound builders. It is possible they built this place. But what's interesting is that the Cayuga people used this place as a fortified hill in the mid-1500s. And the historians believe the Cayuga people built Fort Hill as a defense for wars against neighboring tribes. Now, after the Iroquois Confederacy was formed and the wars ended, the Cayuga people left, leaving one of the best preserved fortified villages of the ancient Cayuga people. So very interesting. I have a big interest in this, in the ancient Seneca people that are here in New York. There were forts all over the place, and the forts were destroyed, of course, by the Continental Army in the late 1700s. So this is really the cemetery is interesting itself, but the history of Fort Alleghan is more interesting to me than anything. So without getting on the mound, I don't want to do that. This obelisk is very tall, but it says, who is the, I can't really read that very good. I think, who is to mourn for Logan. Alright, so who was Logan? Okay, he was an orator born in 1723, was a Native American orator and war leader born in the Iroquois Confederacy. Although Logan was of the Cayuga Nation after his 1760 move to Ohio country, he was sometimes referred to as a Mingo. This suggests that Mingo may have been a differentiation of location, not of tribe. Okay, I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to try to explain this name, the other name of his. Ta-ga-jut was popularized in an 1851 book by Brant's Mayer However, historian Francis Jennings wrote that Mayer's book was erroneous from the first word of the title, and instead identified Logan as James Logan. So, you know, with all this aside, from what I have read, Logan was a chief. And this obelisk is here to honor him. And this is where he is supposedly buried. It's kind of neat. It's interesting how the stories go on about the Cayuga people. There's so many stories here about here in New York about myths and legends of the Seneca and the Iroquois people, but they're all fascinating. Yeah. So anyway, with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. If not, then you know, it's okay. Just a little bit of history. I really think this is an ancient fort, an old place, and they put a cemetery on it. But that's okay too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.